We're going to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Good afternoon. Mr. Bailey?
Present.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles? Mr. Brennan?
Present.
Mayor Rickaman? Mr. McDowell? He is online. All right, Mayor Rickaman.
Here.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, could you say the invocation for us today?
My pleasure. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for an amazing day of collaboration, coordination, appreciation, and vibe in our capital city. Please continue to bless Columbia as we strive for growth, community, in the hope that no one in Columbia will ever be left behind again. Thank you for peace, prosperity, and the continued collaboration in our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. As we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to have Daniel from our Star Scout Troop 95 lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. Whenever you're ready, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for being here and leading us. With that, Madam City Manager.
Yes, sir. At this time, we will ask our council to adopt our agenda, withdrawing item number 3. And I know that, I think council got the word that we'll be deferring the first reading of item 29, but we will proceed with the public hearing.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
At this time, public input, where individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address city council about items on the agenda. Items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time.
Do we have anybody signed up, ma'am? You're welcome to use the podium. Please just state your name and your address for the record.
Susan Leonard. I'm at 2622 Mills Drive, Columbia 29204. And I'm actually representing 500 people who signed petitions and wrote comments about the tree cutting proposed for the revitalization of Mays Park. And if I may, I will just say that they mainly came from the gym at Eastminster, which is a very unusual composition of people. But I've never seen such unity as I saw there with the passion about not cutting those trees. And it was just a consequence of the plan that had been proposed in 2022. The two main people who have done the work on this, Ryan Marshall and John Paget, are requesting another public meeting. But the only reason we knew about the consequences of the plan and the trees being cut was that a tennis player happened to meet the man who was doing an estimate. He said the trees are going to be about $4,000 each to cut. At that time, there were 37. There are fewer. A couple of them fell down recently because they were damaged and diseased, a couple of them. So that's what's happening. But I wanted to tell you that the people all around that park have really come together to stand up against that. Nobody's against the revitalization. We love that. But we think we should work within the context of the trees. And that's something that, because we're in the middle between Charleston and Charlotte, they really focus on the trees, the priorities. I served on the Tree and Appearance Commission, and we have the Treasured Trees program there. And, we've always tried to make trees a priority in our city. this really speaks to it. Getting 500 signatures all around the area within a few days. It was amazing. We were astounded. Ryan mainly did that. And we said, talk about unity. We didn't know what it would take to bring people together, but this really motivated people. Then I see, too, that your new plan for the downtown area, and I saw the Post and Courier article, that they had 700 respondents. The number one thing is trees. Now, you can plant new ones, but if you have them that are mature, then, you have something very different. In the case of Mays Park, mothers talked about going there with their children and how it was like a home for them. It's not only the trees, it's the relationship we have with the place that's important through the years growing up. And I know you had that experience too. So there's a familiarity that exists with places. We may have the spirit of the Lorax right here in Columbia, I'm hoping. But what a better spirit would that be? But I wanted to tell you that. I guess I'm out of time. But thank you for having public comment. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'm happy to address this. I am very now familiar with Mays Park, even more familiar than the fact that I grew up about 2 blocks up the street on Claremont, actually, in between Claremont and Belmont. And I think the answer is, I believe we're all pro-tree, and we want to be pro-park. I think we've really gone out of our way and listened over and over about what the public wants. I've gotten just as many people say they appreciate the way we're doing this. So I think we've listened. I think we've made some adjustments. We're going to continue to make adjustments. We're walking the park and putting our hands on every tree. We have had 2.5 trees now fall apart. So I think it's safety, but I think it's trees where there's no one that's not pro-tree as part of this project. So I think we're in the midst of tweaking. Hopefully we can save even more trees. So I think I appreciate all the comments. I think I've gotten more calls about Mays Park than I've gotten about anything else in Columbia. So I appreciate those calls, and I'm happy to continue to take those calls. And I really do feel like we've got a council that is a listening council, that's an action council, and that appreciates all these comments. So we're going to continue to take all this into account. And I got a sweet spot for Mays Park as well. Grew up there. My dad made me get a paper route that I used to have to get my papers every afternoon there. So I spent a lot of time in Mays. I know. Came home one day and found out I had a paper route the next day.
I wish you had a paper route now. I could actually read the paper in the morning.
I wish I had a paper route too, but that's another story. But anyway, thank you for your comments. I'm glad you're here. And I really think we're going to end up, and I think when we look back on this, everybody's going to be happy with where we land. So thank you.
I did want to acknowledge that Reverend McDowell is online. Reverend McDowell, can you say hello to the public?
I hear him. You tried.
He's here, I promise. He's watching and listening.
Are you there?
I am. We just wanted you to say hello to everybody and say good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We're having some technical issues on my side, and of course, I think we've got it solved now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
matter of personal privilege, please.
yes.
As many of you all know, there was a fire off of Beltline this past weekend where we had two firefighters who were harmed. I believe one may still be in the hospital. So just want to encourage the public to keep him and his family in your prayers for a full recovery. I hear sirens all the time, and a lot of times we don't think about every time our officers or our firefighters go out, they could lose their life or be severely injured. And it's just a reminder how precious life is. So please pray for his family.
Thank you very much, Councilman Bailey.
Is it signed up?
Thank you.
We will move Moving into the approval of minutes, item number 1, council is asked to approve the August 6, 2024 regular meeting minutes and the August 13th, 2024 special call meeting minutes.
So move.
Got a motion and a second?
Second.
Any further discussions, questions, corrections? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes,
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Presentations, item number 2, the Capital City Lake Murray Country Update. Ms. Miriam Atria, our President CEO for the Capital City Lake Murray Country Regional Tourism Board, and her dutiful
Thank you, City
accompanied by,
Accompanied by Vicki Davis, our Senior VP of Special Events and Funding, and our newest board chairperson, Jan Jernigan. Thanks, Jan, for coming today to support us. You know, every time we come before the City of Columbia Council, we bring big news, excitement, and success story after success story. Capital City Lake Murray Country is known for making things and magic happen. We are here today to share the results of the inaugural Southeastern Barbecue Showdown and presenting a great regional opportunity. But first of all, you know, birthing a new major mega event is a tremendous task. But having a first-time event effort explode into significant growth while also providing and bringing new tourists, generating a new revenue source for our organization is nothing to pass over. In June, Segra Park was the venue where Lake Murray Country brought attendees from 18 states, 20 from California alone, chefs from across the USA, as far away actually as Japan. We even produced a television show filmed live at the event, and the air times will be in your package today that we'll give you. Please review the charts that we've provided. They're in your packet. And note the earned media impressions of over 2.5 billion, which has opened many new doors for Columbia's culinary scene through ongoing media coverage and more. Columbia is the capital city, and what better place to host and showcase barbecue? And South Carolina is the birthplace of barbecue. Due to some recent funding cuts in our ATAX dollars, Capital City Lake Murray Country is concerned that we're going to lose the momentum that we've built in just 1 year of the Southeastern Barbecue Showdown, as well as the loss of 13 episodes being filmed on PBS's Planet Barbecue we were bringing. We also want to remain positive and share some other big news as we bring the great car race in June of 2025, where the finish line will end in Irmo with over 300 participants in 4 hotels booked, located in Harbison area of Columbia. We want to see y'all there greeting those antique cars as they arrive. The state of South Carolina, Richland County, and Lexington County have already stepped up to assist us with an important expansion at our visitor center. CCLMC invites the City Council to be part of this regional endeavor. In 1997, the City of Columbia's Council joined our regional governmental partners to provide seed dollars to fund the relocation, renovation of the historic Lark Plantation Home and the added museum to serve as the region's visitor center. We request time to sit down with all of you and discuss this opportunity as soon as possible. We also hope to see all of y'all at the annual meeting. But today, you're going to see a familiar face very shortly, as we want to share with you, at the close of this presentation, some sizzling grills. Thanks for your support. We have a video clip.
Mr. Mayor. I didn't know South Carolina was the birthplace of barbecue. I learned something new today.
The state of South Carolina, we have staked our claim and we have put down the gauntlet.
I got it.
We are,
No more
not
questions.
Texas, not Texas. Although Texas showed up for the barbecue, and unfortunately, their team won.
Ms. Miriam, let me ask you something before we watch this wonderful video. Can you give us some lessons learned about next year's event?
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned?
We didn't need to book Alabama. We had 24% of the visitors that came from outside this region. It's going to be noted in the publication that we're providing you today. Lessons learned, don't do it in June when it's 100 degrees. I think Mayor Daniel Rickman might attest to that. If so, make sure we bring a lot of air-conditioned fans.
How was the interaction with guests?
The guests loved it. We did have complaints because we hired a consultant to assist in doing the MC, and there was some confusion on instructions, and that won't happen again.
And you commented about the music.
Alabama was a draw, we felt, for country music barbecue go together. But it was also a major expense, and we've learned that lesson. We've got some awesome talent lined up. We've got amazing, nationally known, well-authored television show folks to MC it in the future. We will not give up. This will become a mega event for Columbia for many years
Well, good. So maybe
to come.
fostering local musical talent instead of the big national.
Well, we're going to do a little bit of each.
Okay.
We're going to bring some out of Nashville, and we're going to bring some local. Yes.
Good deal. Thank
To
you.
take that bill down. Yes. We spent $700,000, just so you know. And now for the video.
Welcome to Columbia, South Carolina, and beautiful Sacred Park, home to now the Southeastern Barbecue Showdown. We have a growing culinary scene in the Columbia and Lake Erie region, and we wanted to showcase the best in our culinary, which is barbecue. We're thrilled to have some of the top teams in the United States here. We actually have a team from Japan here.
Soy sauce, I like zucchini with the ginger on top.
We put the fat guy on TV.
One of our famous judges.
Columbia approves. First Southeastern Barbecue Showdown in the heart of Columbia. How special is this week?
Wow, this is exciting. You know, I'm a food guy anyway. I spent 21 years in the restaurant business, so for me, I love watching all this competition, but it's here in the capital city, and, you know, people are excited about it.
Tell me about this experience, the first Southeastern Barbecue Showdown. What do you think?
I mean, when you look at where we are, which is in the center part of South Carolina, which is a whole different style of barbecue that they have here. They love their mustard sauces. You got guys from Texas with their dry rubs. You got guys from Japan. I don't even know what they're going to come up with today. So to be able to see this many kind of international competitors that are showing up in one location in central South Carolina is a pretty amazing feat.
Look at this bad boy. World champion rib right there.
$31,000 will be given out over the next 2 days. So they're all excited and getting their knives sharpened and the grills fired up. It's just going to be a great weekend.
And it was a great weekend. And stay tuned. A lot of great announcements will come out, but we might be laying low for a while to recoup and hopefully continued support from this city council. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Now, I just have a comment. I don't know that I could eat that much barbecue again in one sitting.
It was a lot.
But I will tell you, it was pretty exciting to meet all the competitors, the folks from all over, and obviously local folks. But everybody was excited about the opportunity and to come to Columbia. But what I was really excited about, and I think is a testimony is all these competitors have been here for a week, and all they were talking about is how nice our community is, how people were hospitable, and they told them where to go to try different foods. And all these guys love to try different foods, but they really explored our community, and that says something. I think it really reflects on who we are as a welcoming community, and I think that's why our tourism is continuing to grow. Events like this help us get people to stay overnight, which is our goal. I mean, out of 16 million visitors, we get about 5.5 million spend the night. So if we can get more, that means more money spent in our community. So opportunities to embrace things like that, and like any event, you got to tuck and tweak and figure out what worked and what didn't work. The judges were all very complimentary. All of them are Food Network stars, other than me. But, I don't know how they do that for a living, to be quite honest, because I didn't want to see barbecue for quite a while.
I know you did.
But I will tell you the most tastiest dish that we had, and y'all will find this, one of the competitors actually made a dessert, and it was a caramel bread pudding with smoked pork barbecue in the center of it. So you got this sweet, salty taste, and then you dug down into it and you got that meat, and it was just beautiful smoke rings. It was actually, I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's the best thing on the dish. Those guys did end up winning the competition.
And I will say this, Mayor, we did surveys of all the chefs. We've already got double the participation request for the next one. We have made our mark nationally with this event, and that's what we don't want to see go away. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Manager.
Yes, sir. Moving on to the consent agenda items number 4 through 18.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second for the approval of our consent agenda items. Any further discussions, questions? Obviously, there's some really great things in this, as we all know, as we continue to invest in our city across the board, but also continue to hire the right people to join us and help us go after every opportunity there is out there. And we appreciate everybody's teamwork. We saw a little example of that this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Well, actually, both this morning and afternoon. We had 2 great press conferences today. One to talk about our Canvas Art program, but also our kickoff for the William Street Extension, which opens up 63 plus acres on the riverfront, connecting not only our future greenway, but connecting the public to the river, opening up more access. So with that, I've got a motion and a second, and Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 19, under consideration of bids, contracts, and change orders, council is asked to approve a new contract for project SS 7565, the Lower Kinley Creek Sewer Improvements, as requested by Columbia Water on May 9, 2024. The award to McClam and Associates, Inc. is in an amount not to exceed $11,795,072.30, which includes contingency. The initial term of the contract will take effect upon issuance of the notice to proceed with an end date 570 days from commencement, and this contract
Motion to
is...
approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussions, questions?
Yeah, it seems like every 2 weeks, the Clint Shealy comes up looking for $11 million, so.
Actually, I think he's got it.
So if we could just get a little color commentary.
Yes, sir. Annette, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to highlight these projects. This is continued investment in our wastewater collection system associated with our EPA consent decree. This is an area that has been problematic for our collection system. We're out of capacity in that trunk main, or will be very soon. This will allow us to continue growth in the system, but also meet the peak wet weather conditions and prevent us from spilling sewer in the future. So really sets us up well for what's to come.
Any further questions, Mr. Brown? Nope. Council? Thank you. Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye. Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickerman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, I told Clint not to go too far. You've already addressed the wonderful news that we shared earlier today at the press conference, but I'm sure as I read the item on the record, Clint can also, for the purpose of our council listening audience and those here, share the magnitude of the agenda item number 20, which is council is asked to approve a new sole source contract for the William Street Extension Project as requested by Columbia Water on May 3rd, 2024. The award to Hussey, Gay Bell, and DeYoung, Inc. as a sole source in an amount not to exceed $2,835,625. The initial term of the contract will take effect upon issuance of the notice to proceed with the option to renew for one additional one-year period. This vendor is located in Columbia, South Carolina.
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
it is my honor to make a motion to approve this item.
Is that from the district rep that this is in, maybe?
Second.
We have a motion, a second. During discussion, Clint, I'd love for you to highlight a little bit.
I want to be able
before we take some
to co-second this.
Can we get a co-second from Mr. Brown so he doesn't feel left out?
Yes, definitely.
Well, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I've spoken a good bit about this today, and I really want to let Dana, who's done a lot of the hard work, have an opportunity to give the summary, and we can answer any questions.
We always like to see Ms. Higgins before we see you.
Rightfully so.
Thank you, Clint. I appreciate it. This is a very exciting day, and what a great press conference. What a great turnout. We're so excited. The contract before you today is for $2.8 million. That's for the design. Right now, we have 30% plans for phase one, which is on the screen. The contract will take our design to 100%. It will also include feasibility and design, looking at the access road along the river, paralleling the river north and south, and as well as we will be able to spend time with the construction administration with this contract. So it is turnkey. We wanted to bring that before you.
Well, I think you need to say that Travis has promised to get the rest of the drawings done early so that we could actually have a bulldozer out there during the
Spring
Christmas
of 20
season.
Oh.
So we don't have to wait for the spring. We have an early Christmas
Is that what he
present
promised?
for everybody.
I know they're very excited to be a part of this big project, so.
Well, for the record, I mean, we have to say this is a project that has been talked about for decades in Columbia. And I want to thank Charlie Thompson and the Ginyard family, for one, having the vision, to hold off and make sure that the development that occurs down there will be something that everybody in Columbia can be proud of, but create access for everyone to enjoy the river in a central point in the city. And then it helps us connect our riverfront, which, over the next 5 years, we're going to see the connectivity of 27 miles of trails. You will be able to go from any point in downtown up to the dam and back, across over Elmwood, end up at Segra Park and back downtown for dinner without ever getting in your car. And along the way, you get to see all the otters, maybe an alligator or two, the water lilies, the Spanish moss. You'll be able to float and enjoy the river like we've never had. It is one of our most beautiful natural assets. And now, by collaboration not only of folks here, the Midlands Business Leadership Group, Richland County, the state legislature, but the surrounding towns and communities, West Columbia, Casey, the Lexington County, Richland County, Irmo, Chapin, everybody being part of it, Saluda Shoals, the connectivity and what we'll have will be unmatched in the Southeast, will be unmatched, and it's exactly what we should have in the capital city because we are the #1 city in South Carolina. It may not be population, but this is the best place to live. I'll take our 6 colleges and university, our military base, and our community over the ocean any day of the week. And with that, I'm ready for a vote. How about you guys?
All right.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and again, you mentioned the state appropriated funds that this funding comes from, a total of $20.6 million, along with funds from the Richland County Penny, the original iteration. So all good work and demonstration to the public of how state funds can be used and should be used, and penny transportation funds as well. So
Well, I think we got to add to that the sweat equity that our staff has done over years, all the way from our ACMs. I said it earlier today, really across our departments, everybody is involved. Obviously, the Boyd Foundation and their continue, John Lumpkin, Bill Boyd, who said he wanted to see this in his lifetime. This is an incredible opportunity, and I'm excited that it shows what we can do when we come together in collaboration.
And it feels like it's time. It just feels like the time is right, and we're ready. And there's so many good things going on in Columbia, and I would just like for everybody to appreciate all the efforts from our staff and all those involved, and I think it's just an amazing thing, so I couldn't be any prouder than I am today.
thank you, thank all of you. We're in it for the long haul, so we're.
Thank you. Thank you for leading the team.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
One last acknowledgement. George Bailey, a distant cousin of mine, is on the front row over there, just acknowledging for your
You know,
hard
he's
work.
trying to get a board seat. You see that? I see how that works.
We
Pulling the
appreciate your
family
hard
card
work
out, huh?
As well.
We're really appreciative of all of the time today, just to be present means so much. And Mr. Bailey was there earlier, as well as many of the stakeholders that came out, and any of them that are here, I can't see behind me, but we're very thankful.
Absolutely.
The related item is item 21, resolution number R 2024-074, authorizing the city manager to execute a First Amendment to the agreement between the Ginyard Associates LLC and the city of Columbia.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Cousin Bailey, you got anything to say?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Public hearing and first reading for zoning planning matters. I know Ms. Hampton will come forward. Item 22 is a zoning map amendment for Kings Grant Drive at I-77. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hampton.
Good afternoon. Our first item on the agenda is the zoning map amendment. This is for Kings Grant Drive at I-77. It's a request to rezone approximately 2.14 acres from residential single-family large lot, RSF1, to neighborhood activity corridor. So it's a portion of that. It's a smaller portion of that larger parcel you see.
I'm waiting on the sign-up sheet to see if anyone has signed up to speak for or against this item.
So Mayor, Miss Amy Ballou called earlier today, and she wanted us to state for the record that she was against this rezoning. And unfortunately, we didn't get a reason why, but we did get that statement and wanted to put it on the
Did she give her
record.
address or anything for the record by chance?
She did not.
Okay. And what was the name again?
Amy, Ballou.
Okay. Just want to make sure I write it down.
Yes, sir.
I did not receive any correspondence.
All right.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against this project?
We do have representatives of the applicant.
Ma'am, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Just state your name and address.
My name is Pat Tant. I'm actually the owner CEO of Vogue Towers out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, that is asking and seeking for rezoning for the project that we're doing on behalf of Verizon. So my understanding is, and my engineer's actually done most of the work, who was going to be here tonight and couldn't, so I just landed, and I've never been to Columbia. And what a beautiful city I just saw. Love your airport, by the way, and it's beautiful
Hey,
here.
you're welcome to stay through the
Beautiful.
weekend.
I know.
You know, no reason to go to bad Chattanooga.
I've been here about
Tim
55
Kelly will not miss
minutes.
you, I promise you.
I'm 3 blocks from his office downtown. So my understanding is my engineer, my project management, we've met with staff. Yes, it does require a rezoning of approximately 2 acres. I think we've worked at about 2.14, Krista. Worked very well with the HOA, with Phil and Steve there, and just seems the most.
HOA property, right?
Yes, HOA property, Kings Grant. We're very, very sensitive to aesthetics. It'll be stealth, it'll be a pine tree. But yeah, we're trying to just get approval for the rezoning today to go to the next step.
Well, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Please tell Tim I said hello.
I will when I pass him on Broad Street tomorrow. Any questions?
Tomorrow, you got to stay at least 2 days. We
I
got
know.
a 2-day minimum here.
Well, I heard that about barbecue, and I didn't want to say, does anybody know Memphis, Tennessee actually has barbecue? But
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Yes, Your Honor. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Nope. Motion to approve.
You got a motion?
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye, thank you.
I'm looking forward to using my phone in Kings Grant one day. So.
Next item is item 23, which is a zoning map amendment for 2405 Two Notch Road. It is a request to rezone the property from Community Activity Center to Mixed Use 2. Here we are, right on Two Notch Road.
Madam Clerk, do we have anybody signed up?
We do not.
Is there anybody speak for or against this item? I didn't think there would be, but just wanted to make sure. I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Reverend McDowell. We got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you could read the roll, please.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 24 is a zoning map and text amendment for 1417 Pickens Street. The request is to add this property as a Type 3 landmark, and so it will be adding as a map amendment the OVHP overlay and adding the property to the text as a landmark.
Ms. Hampton, do you mind just taking a second to describe what that actually means? Somebody asked me today, and I could not tell them what Class 3 meant.
So we have 3, just like we have in our landmark, in our historic preservation districts, we have 3 levels. And so we have 3 levels of historic landmarks as well. And it's based on its significance either architecturally or historically. And so number 1 being the highest level, number 2 being a mid, and this one being significant but not as such as the others. So that's where
Okay.
those.
I didn't realize we had 3. Thank you for the clarity. Is there a motion? Well, actually, is anybody here to speak for or against? I'm sorry. I don't think we had anybody. Oh, yes, ma'am. Please come forward.
They said I can speak briefly.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we're here for. Just state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, I'm Debbie Bloom. I live at 1043 Elm Avenue. Councilman Brennan is my guy. I also had the pleasure and honor of working for Dr. Cindy Nord, and she's well known as a philanthropist in family services in Columbia, but she's also dedicated to historic preservation, and she owns this house, and she would like it to be protected as much as it
We're
can
about
be.
to give her that,
All right.
that honor. Thank
So
you.
move, Mr. Mayor.
Got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please tell Dr. Nord we're moving forward. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 25 is an annexation, future land use map amendment, and zoning map amendment for 100 and 108 Bluff Road. It's a request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of urban core mixed residential, and a zoning of residential two-family Mill Village within the floodplain.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against the project? Madam Clerk, do we have anybody?
No, sir.
There's somebody.
Sir, you're welcome to come to the podium.
Hey, I'm Jason Holliday with Sandlapper. I'm just here to answer any questions if there are any.
Councilman Brennan?
No, it's just good to see, when James Hilliard's on here annexing into the city, that's always an exciting day from Olympia. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that, I will entertain a motion.
So move.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a dual second?
Co-second.
Co-second, excuse me. We'll make sure everybody's getting credit. With that, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
As mentioned earlier, this next item, 26, we request a public hearing only holding first reading for the annexation, future land use map amendment, and zoning map amendment at 28.5 acres on the east side of Broad River Road. Request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of urban edged mixed residential, and a zoning of residential mixed district 2.
There will not be a vote on this item. It is a public hearing only. Is there anybody here to speak for or against this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name's Hank Mabry, and I'm representing the owner of this property, and I'm here to answer any questions y'all might have.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Mabry? And no one's called in, signed in,
No, sir.
emailed in?
No, sir. Not to my knowledge.
Well, with that, we'll move on to the next item. Thank you, Ms. Hampton.
Thank you. Item 27 is an annexation, future land use map amendment, and zoning map amendment for 52 Riverview Court and a portion of 62 Riverview Court, filling in this donut hole.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against this item?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 28 is an annexation, future land use map amendment, and zoning map amendment for 495 Piney Grove Road. It's a request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of a regional activity corridor, and a zoning of general commercial district.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against this item? Nobody signed up?
No, sir.
All of these are District 1 today. A lot happening in that district. Good thing. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Your final item, we likewise request a public hearing and hold first reading for this amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance to update the principal use table for veterinary clinics. So the request is to add this as a permitted use in the MU1 district. We were we were requested to review an application for a veterinary clinic in this district. And while looking at the other districts, the clinics that serve humans are allowed, but those that serve animals are not. And so with the fact that we do not allow the outdoor kennels in these locations, which would be what the concern was for staff in these districts, we went ahead and proposed an amendment to allow those in these districts.
I did have one question, and it's stated in there as a conditional use, and that's not what I think, is that what you're proposing? Because that's not what I heard at first.
It is, yes. So a conditional use means that in order to locate in that district, we do have the conditions that are applied, such as not having the outdoor kennels and those items that may be a nuisance to adjoining property owners.
Just wanted to clarify that language.
Krista, so if there is a vet clinic that has a outdoor boarding option, is that, I'm lots of conversations today with veterinarians, so I'm trying to get them all the concerns straight. If there's a clinic and that it used to be a MU2, is this an overarching umbrella new zoning for all vet clinics into MU1? That would, so if that MU2 wanted to do some sort of renovation addition, would have to come in front of the zoning board for a variance to do that?
This would not impact any current permissions, so it would only be adding the use to the MU1. I'm looking at Hope to make sure I'm speaking correctly, and I am. So, yes, so that whatever is applied to the MU2 currently, which I believe that would also currently be a conditional use, would stay. They aren't impacted. This would just add the use to the MU1, the mixed use one.
So current veterinary clinics that wanted to add on could do that just working through the regular permitting process. There's no rezoning, no extra hurdle for that.
As long as they meet whatever else standards are there and the conditions that are currently within the code. Sometimes if they're adjacent to residential districts, there are other neighborhood compatibility standards that apply to all commercial districts that they need to address.
Regardless of the use.
Correct, correct. Yeah, so it really is context specific. But
have you had veterinary offices reach out to you asking questions about this? What's the awareness level for companies, small businesses that would be affected by this and future growth plans?
Well, I know that the one who desired to have the clinic is aware of it. The current, the current veterinary clinics are permitted, so I don't know that they'd have any desire to relocate into these areas, but it would certainly open up that possibility.
Okay. Thank you, Krista.
Any further questions?
Mr. Mayor, this is first reading, right?
Yes, sir.
No, it's public hearing.
We're asked to hold the first reading.
There's no reading, it's just a public hearing.
All right, great, okay, thank you.
Makes it easy. So that concludes your zoning public hearing.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hampton.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Moving into a period of appointments, council is asked to approve the appointment of Mr. Brian Jeffries as the Chief Administrative Judge for a 4-year term.
Mr. Bailey, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, also Judge Jeffries is I think an outstanding pick for the municipal courts. I think everybody's excited about his leadership, and we appreciate you willing to serve at a greater level at the municipal court. So appreciate you stepping up, and we're looking forward to your leadership there.
Thank you, Judge Jeffries.
City Council Committee referrals. Is there a button?
Do we have any
City Council Committee referrals, reports, and new business. I'm sorry, Mayor.
Any committee referrals, committee comments, anything new, any new business?
Hey.
I think we can move on, Madam Administrator.
You gentlemen are holding it down today for me. That's great. Public input. Individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address City Council. Items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time.
No one has signed up.
Is there anybody who'd like to speak? If not, I'm going to entertain a motion to go in executive session so we can finish our items.
So moved. Sorry, second.
A motion, and we'll be going into executive session pursuant of SC Code 30-470A5, Capital City Stadium Drainage Project. This is a legal discussion. With that, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.